Hi everyone, welcome to day 4 of Resume Week. Today's theme is Enhance, and we're going to focus on building out your resume with important additional information that's relevant to you, your background, and your career goals. So first I want to chat about a section that everyone should include regardless of their major or career industry of interest, and that is a skills section. You do incredible things inside and outside of the classroom every single day. Just think about all you know and do well as a student, an employee, a teammate, and everything else you're involved in. There are two main types of skills that employers want you to have: hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are ones that are very specific to your major. So for example, inserting IV lines if you're a nursing major, programming with G-code, or knowing MIG or TIG welding if you're in one of our MTI programs, using Photoshop and Illustrator if you're a design major. So think about things you've done in courses that are required for your major and other classroom projects that you're really good at. And then also think about other technology skills that you have that you may have learned as a student or just on your own. For example, using Excel, Instagram, Canva, things like that. Soft skills are another type of skills that employers want you to have, and these include things like being punctual and reliable, communicating and writing very well, being a team player. In most cases, these are skills that you demonstrate to the employer through your application and an interview. For instance, having a very well-written resume shows that you have good writing and communication skills. Returning phone calls in a timely manner and being on time for your interview shows that you're punctual and reliable. Talking about an experience on your resume or in an interview that involves collaborating with others will show the employer that you can work well in teams. Ideally, your skills section will include primarily hard skills related to your major and soft skills that are very specific. For example, employers do not want you to write a vague statement on your resume that says you have excellent communication skills. Instead, in your skills section, they want you to say which specific communication skills you're good at. Are you really good at public speaking and giving presentations in the classroom, or negotiating and collaborating with teammates, or persuading others with sales? Some other examples of great soft skills to include are things like creativity, attention to detail, reliability, patience. The more specific you can be, the better. The skills section can be just a list of what you're good at. Just like everything else on your resume, you want to put these skills in order of importance to the employer. For instance, your nursing skills should be listed before all other skills if you're a nursing major. The engineering software you know would be listed first over other skills if you're in a manufacturing program, and so forth. You do not have to give specific examples of how you use these skills within this section, because that will likely be written in your bullet points. But the skills section helps draw attention to your skills very quickly for a recruiter so that they don't have to initially read your entire resume to find out all of your skills. I personally like to make the list look as columns like you can see here just by using the tab button, because remember, you don't want to use tables or text boxes because that can be hard for applicant tracking systems to read. But columns take up less space. But if you do this, you can do it as you see fit and depending on how much space you need to fill up on your resume. Again, this is your resume, so you do not have to use columns if you don't like the way that this looks. Another section that is very common to use is called a professional summary or an overview. It used to be that objectives were included, but the professional summary has taken its place now because the objective is a bit moot. Of course, you want the position, that's why you're applying. The summary is different in that it's an overview of who you are. You can see an example here. It's generally 2 to 4 sentences, brief, to the point, and written with very powerful language, as you can see. Professional summaries are great to include if you're attending a career fair and will be handing your resume out to multiple employers and not applying to a specific position, or if the job listing does not require or request a cover letter. If, however, you are applying to a position and the employer has asked you for a cover letter in addition to your resume, in that case, the summary is a bit repetitive and it is also going to be taking up space on your resume that you could be using for something else more powerful in demonstrating your talents to the employer. So in that case, you would leave the summary off. You'll also notice that a references section is not going to be included in a resume building worksheet that I have attached to the email. Contrary to popular belief, this section, or a mention of references available upon request, should not be on your resume. An employer knows that you will provide references, so there's no need to waste space on your resume saying so, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow. So with today's email, as I mentioned, you received a resume building worksheet. Take a look through this to determine additional sections you should include on your resume, besides the skills section, which, as I said, everyone should include. The worksheet includes a variety of possible sections you might include that is based on your background and questions to ask yourself to help you determine whether or not a section pertains to you and you should include it. Building out your resume is important, especially when you're first starting out in your career, because as I mentioned before, you want to fill up an entire page if at all possible. Now, if you can't fill up a page right now, that's okay. You will over time as you do new things, I promise. This event is just to help you get your resume started. And if you are someone who maybe doesn't have a lot of work or college experience yet, going through this resume building worksheet will help you identify and start thinking about things that you can do now and get involved with during summers and during the semester, like doing an internship or joining a campus club, so that by the time you graduate or transfer from JCC, you will have even more to add to your resume. So let's look at an example of one resume that has not gone through the resume building worksheet, as you can see on the left here, and one that has gone through the worksheet, as you can see on the right. You can see that once more information is added, like the leadership experience section, community service section, it really helps market this person really, really well. So after you go through the attached resume building worksheet, you will probably realize that there's more information that you can include on the resume that you have already started that maybe you have not thought of. So if you are able to add more information, you want to just make sure you follow some of the same guidelines we talked about earlier. You want to order the sections of your resume based on the importance to the employer. So for instance, if you have professional certifications like Narcan or a mandated reporter or temporary OTA nursing certifications, things like that, that should be one of the very first items listed on your resume, even before the sections that you already included on previous days. Everything you include on your resume is important, of course, but remember that recruiters want to see the most important information and most relevant information towards the top third of the page. Then you want to set each section up with a title for the experience or whatever the certification, whatever it is you're adding. You want to bold or italic key information just as you did in the earlier sections of your resume as well. And if you're adding in something that had a specific date, such as when a certification was received or expires, or when an award was won, you want to make sure you include that as well. So to recap for today, everyone is going to create or update a skills section, including both hard and soft skills, and then add any additional sections that pertain to you with key information. So this wraps up day 4. Stay tuned for our last day tomorrow and reach out with any questions.